I'm gonna take my time making this video tonight. I have a lot of homework to do. Actually, I only got two assignments that I'll do tomorrow, but I figured, as a college student, I figured I'd get them out the way before the deadline. But I feel like I needed to make this video because I feel like I'm doing a disservice to this channel. Because usually, I haven't uploaded in a long time. Like the gap between videos can be as far as 1 to 2 months, hell, even longer than that. But I want to take my time making this particular video today. Um, Again, it's gonna be another one of those videos where it's just raw, unedited thoughts, where it's gonna be like what I do with series recap. By the way, I'm gonna try to make a valiant return with that series because I know I've been in and out of YouTube because I've been dealing with so much stress when it comes to school and life and such. But I'm trying to pull through for y'all. So I acknowledge that I don't I'm not as predominant on making videos because I don't prioritize making videos as I used to, but I do follow the NBA and I do know what's going on. So with this particular case, what you see here is a 23-year-old superstar that is on the verge of throwing his life away. What do I mean by that? So recently, Morant, obviously he deactivated his Twitter and Instagram accounts, and he said he was going to take a break, and I'm going to read his public apology. But before we get into that, I'm gonna basically list down what happened when within the last month or so. So according to ESPN First Take, which I will link that video below, it's their most recent episode that they released this morning. So the recent incidents involving John Morant and associates. So according to a police report, last summer, Ja and associates were in confrontation with the mall head of security. No charges filed. Police report. Another police report. I think it says 4 days later. I don't know if it means like 4 days later. Yeah, it probably does mean 4 years. 4 years. 4 days later after that, um, a 17-year-old, I guess, an anonymous basketball star in high school or whatever. He challenged John Morant to, I think, in a basketball game, and then some words were exchanged, and then Ja had a gun and waistband after altercation. No charges filed. Last month, or January 29th, so a month and a half ago, Ja gets into it with Andrew Nemhart of the Indiana Pacers. And okay, you might be saying, okay, well, that's just in-game confrontation. Normally it would cool down, but Ja let it boil over after the game, and he and his friends um, I think, they're right next to the Indiana Pacers travel bus, I think, or somewhere in the loading dock, and they were flashing a red laser at one of the staff members to a point where a staff member thought that, oh shit, these dudes are carrying guns with them, or somebody targeted us. You know what I mean? So, and then the more yeah the Saturday morning. I'm trying to say that I'm again. This is raw and unedited. I'll like cut myself off to give myself some time, but so the morning after that night against the Denver Nuggets, where they lost, I think it was like by a score 113-97. So they absolutely got mollywopped in the fourth quarter. The morning after, like the wee hours of the morning, Ja appears to display a gun in an Instagram live post at a nightclub, and I believe that nightclub was in Denver because Denver police are doing, or Colorado police, excuse me, are doing an investigation on Ja because because of their gun laws. And then most of y'all should know what Ja said in his statement, but this is mainly him and his PR team. But this is his statement right here. I take full responsibility for my actions last night. I'm sorry to my family, coaches, teammates, fans, partners, the city of Memphis, and the entire organization for letting you down. I'm going to take some time away to get help and work on learning better methods of dealing with stress and my overall well-being. So there's a lot to unpack here. All right, so I'm gonna link that video. I'm gonna link Dreamers Pro's vid. I'm gonna link Shannon Sharpe's rant. from Undisputed today, basically talking about the same thing, and he did share the same sentiments that Stephen A. Smith said. But I want to take my time with this. So here's some background. My dad grew up in Brooklyn, New York. My dad grew up in, well, yeah, Brooklyn, New York. He grew up in the Flatbush neighborhood in Queens. If you guys know family that's in Brooklyn, or if you yourself, if you're watching this, grew up in Brooklyn, you know what you know, right? And the one thing that stood out to me is that Ja is playing at a life that my dad grew up in. Mind you, my dad, um, nearly he told me a few stories where he had to duck under a car when a robbery was going on at a nearby grocery store, and shit was getting, there was like guns popping, and I'm gonna have to ask my dad this tomorrow, but I do not doubt that my dad thought he was gonna die in that in the crossfire of it. So I guess my point that I'm trying to say is this: I don't want to take it from the angle that, oh, Ja, you're soft, you're not like that, because I feel like it's counterproductive. Like, yeah, he's not tough, okay, he's not like that, but what are you doing to resolve that issue by telling him that he's not that? I feel like we could take it from a different angle. And Dreamers Pro said it best, because I honestly thought about the same thing as soon as I started making this video. Ja, what is it that you're trying to accomplish here? Brandishing your gun, threatening mall security, threatening a 17-year-old because I don't know if he outplayed you, or you two got in a heated scrap or whatever. What exactly are you trying to prove here? That's number one. Number two, a lot of people are, and I even made the point because I told y'all a story about my dad growing up in New York. A lot of people are saying that, Ja didn't grow up like that. Ja is part of a nice neighborhood with a nice family and blah 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 blah. But the thing is though, bro, is that, you know what I mean, that it doesn't matter, nor it should matter where you came from, because it gives you zero excuse to act like that. You know what I'm saying? Right? You look at, let's say, Jay Z. Jay Z went from selling crack on the streets of Brooklyn. He's made plenty of songs of how he had to survive out there, bro. In the projects in Brooklyn, New York. Nas making songs about how dangerous it was. If y'all listen to Illmatic, his Nas from the early 90s, half his shit talked about shit. I grew up in New York. I grew up in that borough of New York. You know what I'm saying? But the thing is, they went from that to being put up in what you call a rap hall of they went from that to having one of the greatest Hall of Fame careers. I don't care what y'all say about Jay-Z. Numbers don't lie. Hove has had a Hall of Fame career. Nas, as underrated as he is now, as much as people haven't heard of him because they're too focused on this, that, and the other, Nas has had a Hall of Fame career. You look at Kendrick Lamar, made a lot of songs about growing up in Compton. He made a song, if y'all remember the song "Sing About Me, I'm Dying of Thirst." He dedicated that song to one of his friends, or his, I think, his brother, or I guess his friend, because Jai used the term. Seeing they were Kevin, like my brother, my friend, whatever. But you hear in that clip, after the song, when it was transitioning from "Sing About Me" to "I'm Dying of Thirst," you hear Kendrick saying, "Fuck, I'm tired of this shit. These bitch ass niggas killed my brother." Or I think, yeah, it was in that song. It was like after Swinging Pools, where he said, "These bitch ass niggas killed my brother." You know what I mean? So I guess what I'm trying to say is this: they went from that lifestyle to having a Hall of Fame career. You want to know why? Because they stayed out of that drama. They stayed out of the BS. And I feel like, okay, whether if Ja grew up there or not, is so, in my opinion, it's so damn irrelevant because this is an actual human life that is on the verge of not only losing his wealth, losing his sense of morality if he ever had one, but he's on the verge of losing his life or losing someone close to him. Because what? You trying to be hard like that? You trying to be gangster? You trying to be like, oh shit, I'm from the fucking streets. I'm tough as fuck. When in reality, you're not. But even if you were, why do you have to prove to people that you're tough? Look at DeMar DeRozan and Bobby Portis. DeMar grew up in the same city that Kendrick grew up in. Bobby Portis grew up in a town in Arkansas where, hey, if you knew his backstory, or if y'all know Bobby Portis' backstory, he always made it about coming from nothing. Kevin Durant growing up in the DC, Maryland, Virginia area. He even explained it on Serge Ibaka's "How Hungry Are You?" I think that was Serge's first episode, or I think it was his first episode of season 2. It was released during 2020, but at the time it was around summer 2019 when that was filmed. Kevin Durant said, "Yo, I grew up from nothing. We had baked beans. We had basically, we had to survive, bro." But I guess what I'm trying to say is this: Ja, whether you grew up like that, it to me is irrelevant. You have to move differently than the people you're trying to surround yourself with. You want to know what's funny about this whole thing, y'all? Is that, you know, I was playing ball at my local gym. A few of my homies, and we were kind of drawing it up. We were kind of trolling some high school kids, laughing at them from the sideline. But we were taught, they brought up an interesting point that, like, yo, you grew up in a gated community and you go to a pretty nice school. Why are you trying to act like you're tough? Like, oh, these kids from, city A, they act like they're from, cities like Compton or Chicago, when really they're not like that. They try to portray themselves, they try to glorify the hood lifestyle, when in reality, it's not something to glorify. And another funny story here is that on Dr. Phil, there's a lot of people that try to play that tough guy, that gangster from the hood, being in the streets, smoking weed, hanging out with the homies. Like that, Dr. Phil is like, as much as I do not like the guy, I only watch his videos for the memes, y'all. Like I only watch his videos because I get a kick out of it. I don't actually like watching his show. I just get a kick out of it. But there's this one dude on Dr. Phil named Chaz Taylor who grew up in Muskegon, Michigan. I don't know if y'all been around there or you know about that area, but if you know what you know, if you know about Muskegon, Michigan, I personally do not. Feel free to leave comments about Muskegon. To some this may be a bad example, but he did bring up an interesting point that on Dr. Phil, a lot of people try to claim they're part that they in that tough road or they're about that street life, and Chaz says like, "Yo, this is how it really is in the hood." You know what I mean? But to each his own. That could be that could be him acting or whatever. But I guess my point is this: I did say that growing up has nothing to do with how you act, but I feel like some people have this tendency, and Josh's not the only one. There are so many people from the suburbs that glorify this type of lifestyle, bro. They glorify being, you know, the the dude that's tough or a guy with hood tendencies, you know what I'm saying? I burped. I'm so sorry. I'm gonna edit that out. But probably not. But that was rude of me. But it's kind of strange how people glorify a lifestyle where people where people end up witnessing someone close to them or somebody that they probably don't know, but they witnessed it. They witnessed somebody um, from that area get shot, get robbed, or whatever. Damian Lillard again. I forgot. I was talking about Demar and Bobby Portis and KD, but Damian Lillard is from Oakland. Like one time, he was trying to get home from practice, and there's a few dudes that are trying to rob his bag, and Dame Lillard had to stand up for himself, and he had to show he was tough. And then Dame got a gun pointed to his face, and then eventually he was just like, "Yo, take my shit. I ain't trying to get shot to prove that I'm tougher than you." And why I brought up those stories is because of this. Ja, I understand that okay, you may have grown up like that. You probably did not grow up like that. But the thing is you don't have to prove to people that you're tough by brandishing a weapon, by by brandishing whatever, by getting into it with mall security, by being up a 17-year-old kid, bro. Sometimes it takes that one flashpoint moment where you're held at gunpoint and you make the wrong move, and the worst possible thing could happen to you. And look, I and it's one of the reasons why as I'm hearing people that say that hey, I'm proud of Ja for releasing that statement. Personally, I do believe that you know part of it is from Ja, but I just believe that was mostly his PR team. You guys can disagree with me, that's fine. But Shannon Sharpe said it best. The truest form of apology is changed behavior. That is the biggest thing. The biggest form of apology is changed behavior. And I honestly hope, because I love watching Ja, I honestly hope he comes out of this a better man, a more responsible man, you know, a guy that can keep his nose clean, and most importantly, a guy that could be a role model to not only his obviously his audience, which is full of impressionable young kids nowadays, and it's not just exclusively him, but a lot of people who have like who are fans of like celebrities or YouTubers or movie stars, etc., etc. A good amount of them are impressionable young fans. Ja, you have to portray a better image for those people. But even if not for them, do it for your family. Do it for your kid, bro. Do it for your kid. And a lot of people, and a few more things before I close. A lot of people are also blaming this on rap music too. That oh, the NBA is promoting this, that, and the other. Little baby Rob. The thing is, no. The thing is, no. It takes responsibility off of the individual. I listen to a lot of rap. I'm what you call one of the biggest rap heads that I'm one of the biggest rap heads you ever know. Like if you met me one day, you know what I'm saying, and I instantly show you all my songs that I'm listening to that I'm bumping at work and all that. Like you'd be saying, "Oh shit, this motherfucker, this motherfucker, the biggest rap fan." But you know what I'm not gonna do? I may speak your language, I may talk your dialect, but what I'm not gonna do is act out because of what they promote. And my point is that the fact that people are blaming it on the music Ja listens to is taking responsibility off of him. And it potentially, I don't know about y'all, man, but it gives it obfuscates blame from Ja. You know what I mean? Because you look at LeBron James, he listens to a lot of rap. Yeah, I understand. Like he listens to some classical music, but you see him on his IG stories getting turned and while he's working out or just relaxing, listening to some Drake and all that. But you don't see him going out and committing bullshit like this. Kevin Durant, Bobby Portis, and all these other guys, they I bet you like they have quotes of Nipsey Hussle or they listen to a lot of rap. But the thing is, what separates those guys from Ja, and I can even put DeMar DeRozan in there, Dame Dollar, they don't go out and commit this type of tomfoolery that Ja's doing because they know how to keep their noses clean and they know to be a role model for the next generation. And to the father, to Mr. T. Morant, boss, you gotta learn that that you're his father. You ain't his homeboy. You ain't even his biggest fan. You are his father. And maybe I shouldn't be saying this because who knows? Maybe he did have a sit down talk with Ja and say like, "Yo, man, this is her and our brand." So I can't assume that he hasn't talked to Ja, or at least at the very minimum reached out to him. But a lot of people, for good reason, are speculating that Ja's father may have something to do with this, and he probably does. Okay, I only know what is going on with Ja Morant because the story is made public. I don't know what else is going on behind the scenes. To Ja's homies, to all his fam, like bro, y'all gotta do a better job of protecting him, conducting yourself in a better manner than how y'all dealt with because y'all were actually one of his homies was in that scuffle when Shannon Sharpe and Dylan Brooks were going at it and T Morant was going at it. And I guess Ja Ja's father and his homies, you all y'all three have to do a better job of conducting yourself. I'm not even speaking as someone who grew up in the hood. I never claimed to grow up in the hood. Nor I will ever do that. I never grew up like that. And you know what? I'm fucking blessed that I did not have to grow up through that. But the thing is that even if I did, I'm not gonna go back there and act like a damn fool for the sake of proving that I'm tough. And because of that, I forgot to mention at the beginning of this, uh, I guess, video for discussion or whatever, this video. It's why John Morant is serving a 2-game suspension. But if y'all ask me, man, it ain't gonna stop there. Because again, Colorado police are investigating him. So, especially because of the gun laws. But what is gonna happen in the future with John Morant? Well, I do think he's gonna have to move differently as well. To quote Shannon Sharpe. But I want to give some closing sentiments before I end this video. To anyone that is aspiring to become a millionaire, because I feel like this piece of advice is important, especially when it comes to things like this. When it comes to advice on how to be a better person, a better friend, a better individual, don't ever think that you're above that person, whether it's your friend, family member, like, or maybe sometimes, you know, a stranger. Never think that you're above them because you're a dollar better than them. Because sometimes that piece of advice can really, how do you say it? It can really have you in a better understanding of self. So, again, never think that you're above that you're above somebody because you're a dollar better than them. And that would be my advice to Ja. So Ja, please take it seriously. T and Ja's homies, don't ever think you're above criticism because you made it because of Ja. Ja, don't think you think that you're above criticism because of the fact that you got all this money and you could get away with flashing gang signs and you know pointing a gun at your camera via Instagram Live. So but these are basically my honest thoughts about this. I wanted to take my time with this video as much as I can, but I honestly want to know what you guys think. Like, what are you like? Whatever your thoughts are about this particular situation, what advice, whether it's advice you give John Morant or if you have a story to share when it comes to just, you know, people acting like they're from the hood when they're not. Whatever it is, please, this these comments are open for discussion, man. But I don't know. We'll see what happens with the following updates. But until then, that's the end of this video. I'm X. Deuces.